For the record, my name is Hope Carr. I'm here today to ask questions and share some important information regarding the missing game and fish money in Foster County. Due to the tight scheduling, I'd ask that you all refrain from asking questions or making comments until the end of my presentation to the board.
I will on one, as long as you stay on course. We're not gonna get off, we're not gonna bash, I want facts, because what we're gonna do today, we'll probably go to the primary.
That's just fine.
information, okay?
That'd be fabulous, actually. I've been told that I have 5 minutes. Is it possible to extend that to give me 10 minutes?
Let's do 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, getting started then. For right around 25 years, Dry Dock Sports has been selling North Dakota game and fish licenses for Foster County without any major problems. Throughout those years, former Foster County Auditor Roger Schlotman was our contact regarding game and fish licensing. 3 or 4 times a year, sometimes more, he and his briefcase would visit doing county business. Since Roger's departure as auditor last November, many things have changed. These changes, as well as our payments, are noted in the letter to the commissioner and documented by other vendors as well. That's what I just handed to you. Please read this letter at your convenience and reply in writing how things will be done in the future, as I do not have time to address it at the table today. That information is in front of you right now. Digging in. Starting our discussion, I'd like to dive right in and dissect the meeting minutes of August 19th as prepared by auditor and approved by the commission. That's the minutes right in front of you. These statements inspired this entire book of research I have right in front of me. The first sentence says, "The Game and Fish Fund has not been tracked in the past and has caused a major problem." Right there, it's highlighted for you.
Okay, remember official minutes. We've agreed to them, we're not gonna debate them. That's what was actually said at the meeting, so we're going forward with that. So if you want to sidetrack onto that, please don't, okay?
How is that sidetracking?
These are the official minutes, this is what was brought up at our meeting. You want them changed, or what do you want to do with them?
I don't want them changed, I want to address them and
Okay.
why we started looking into this
Yep,
stuff.
okay.
Now, did that count towards my time, or do I get to add on to my
Just,
time?
let's get moving, let's go.
All right, the first sentence says, "The Game and Fish Fund has not been tracked in the past and it has caused a major problem." That's false. There are 6 game and fish vendors in Foster County who can tell you that that is incorrect. Also, the former auditor, 2 deputy auditors can validate that there has always been very detailed records kept to the game and fish happenings.
Okay, do you have those records for us?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's present them to us.
Can we go through all of this first and then I can
Well, I
present to
would
you
like
what
to
you
get
need?
it after we're going through it, so you just don't bombard us.
Okay, well then this is gonna take a lot longer than 5 minutes, Paul.
Well, then you got 5 minutes, so let's speed it up. We're not gonna sit here all day and debate this.
It's not a
Let's go.
debate, I'm
Let's go.
presenting,
Let's go.
Let her say what she wants to
I'm
say.
presenting facts that need to be discussed that are incorrect in the minutes.
There is a lot of misunderstanding in this and a lot of people.
Let's go, let's move on.
I make a motion that we let her talk.
Yeah,
What do you
Let's
say,
go.
Wes?
yeah, just keep talking, yeah, I have no problem with that.
As I said, there's very detailed records that have been kept of game and fish happenings. The tracking system became flawed mostly in March 2014 as the new auditor came into office. Ms. Risovi's lack of attention to game and fish matters has not gone unnoticed and can be proven in numerous ways. As I said, I have this information right here, and I'd be happy to provide it to you. This book is not going to leave my side, though. This is a major problem now, but it started with very minor problems which were ignored until August. Ms. Risovi stated in February, payment was made to Game and Fish, which put the fund into the red in the amount of $2,573.14. Yes, the Game and Fish account fund was negative that amount in February after Sarah Averly made a large payment to Game and Fish. Payment was for July 1st through December 31st sales. My research shows that there are a number of logical reasons that this may have happened. A large portion, $2,547 of this, is an uncollected payment from a vendor, not Dry Dock by the way, which should have been billed and received much sooner than August 2014. I'll go ahead and present you with that bill. This bill was created by Sarah, and when she reconciled things with vendors, for some reason it was never paid until just recently. As a matter of fact, Teresa sent the bill out just prior to this meeting that you have the records for, and got a payment shortly after. Apparently, she did not see the relevance of mentioning this tidbit during the meeting to the board. Also, shortly before being booted out of office, Sarah had received a notice from Game and Fish of 2 missing books that had not been turned in. 2. One of these books is still in limbo today. The total amount due the account for this book is $130. These 2 amounts together total $2,677 and cover the amount that the fund was short. Moving on, the rest of that sentence that is in the minutes. However, since there's no way to track the money and what has been billed for the year 2013, the account will actually now be in the red, the amount of $5,744. Again, she mentions the lack of 2013 records. Interesting fact, Sarah never had any problems using the 2013 records. She used the records in January to comply with Game and Fish report requirements and pay the dues. I guess they were here after Roger was gone. How could the file now be lacking such an important document? That's a question that this board really needs to think about. I wonder if BCI has looked into this matter yet, but don't worry, I've already notified the sheriff. Teresa's August payment to Game and Fish in the amount of $8,291 was made quickly after the meeting, as it was due way back in May. The video recording of the meeting clearly states that the account would not actually go negative, thanks in part to the billing her office did in 2014, which of course hasn't actually happened, but would eventually show a negative amount. Well, if the auditor's office was actively seeking the uncollected amount of 2013 Game and Fish money sitting out with the vendors, they could add an additional $2,970 in revenues that should be reconciled with spring deliveries. It should have been done a long time ago. A quick look at Foster County receipts in the fund under the auditor's name will clearly show a lack of effort. Where a normal year would be submitted I messed up there. Whereas a normal year there would be thousands entered into the account under the auditor's name. As of roughly 2 weeks ago, Teresa submitted a whole $62 for the year. The uncollected fishing money along with Game and Fish reimbursement payment of $190 would once again cover the hypothetical missing amount she stated. Moving on, Ms. Risovi stated that the Game and Fish did come out and attempt to help her office track the money and licenses. However, no one was able to locate or track what happened. False. This statement was deceitful and shows utter disrespect that she has for the commission. This was a complete lie. This is a letter from a gentleman who was in Carrington. His name is Randy from the Game and Fish. He was in Carrington, but he was never in the auditor's office trying to locate or track what happened. Randy did provide Teresa with some report training while he was in town. He gave her a list of items that had not been turned in from 2013. He discussed the importance of many things the auditor is responsible for, and all of those things are detailed in this letter from him. This letter was addressed to the commission, by the way, and I'm not sure if you received it prior to me walking in the door, but it should have came from the auditor's office to you, I would assume. According to Randy, this matter is an issue between the county and vendors. Please note his words on the second paragraph of the letter. I was aware at the time there was missing licenses unaccounted for, but searching for said licenses was not the intended purpose of my visit. This can only make one wonder if Ms. Risovi is trustworthy in the office.
Okay, you're making a lot of accusations, and what I think we need to do is we turn this over to the sheriff's office, and we have it investigated to find out.
You've already turned this over to BCI.
Okay, so then let's leave it at that.
And I'm
because as
giving
of
you
right
lots and
now,
lots of proof here.
all that you're doing right now is bashing. And
I
we're
am not
gonna-
bashing, I'm giving you facts.
She's not. She's lied and everything else. That will come out in the investigation. and we're gonna leave it at that. You've got any more evidence for us to give to the crime?
In the meantime, I will continue
I'm-
to tell
no,
you
I'm.
how many
I'm gonna
other
cut you off.
important things.
You put that all in writing, and we're gonna give it to BCI. We're not gonna sit
wanna
here and
hear
have a
this,
court
Paul.
today.
I wanna hear this.
Then you
Let her
go
speak.
somewhere else. Because all we're doing is, this is a crime bureau investigation, let's put
That's
it
right,
back
it
on
is.
those guys. And then if you have a witness to those, then you need to talk to those. We can't have court here today.
We're not having court. I
Yes,
wanna
we
hear
are.
this.
You-
Les,
we
you
are
wanna
having
hear
court.
this?
Yeah, how much more do you have?
Not a whole lot more. I'm about
Let's
to.
just finish it up and then the girl will take care of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Moving on, Ms. Risovi asked the board if she could turn in information over to the Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Chairman Straley stated that if the money cannot be located, then it needs to be investigated to give the information to BCI. As I said, this has been turned over to BCI, correct?
Exactly, that's why we did this.
That was fast. So did any of you do any fact checking? Did you have Noreen come in and take a look at the fund? Were any questions asked, phone calls made? Any effort to investigate on your
Once
own?
again, this is a criminal investigation. I am not gonna answer those questions. If BCI comes and asks me those questions, I will talk to them, because it's an investigation.
Why would you turn
You know,
something over for a formal investigation if you don't investigate yourself first?
That's not my job to investigate that. That's the crime bureau. I can go through all the work and find out something I can't prosecute. That's their
This
job.
small
That's what they're
paragraph
doing.
in
There you go.
the minutes has inspired this entire book from me. And I would like to see your homework. Any of you have any homework that you did on this? I mean, obviously, it's an important matter if it's turned over to BCI, right? Once again, accusations are being made and the headlines embarrass. A residual effect of not cleaning up, the expired fishing stamps in a timely manner has started to surface. Foster County residents need to check their fishing stamps and be sure that they were not sold an expired stamp in the new season. We have information that this has been happening and can be a problem. This is a copy of a license that came in the other day. It's a 2014-2015 certificate. If you turn the page, you'll notice the stamp is an expired stamp that was sold to them in May. The stamps expired in March. Now, this can be a huge problem. Anyone who has sold an expired stamp needs to return to the vendor location for a refund, a void, and a resale. Never put a stamp over a stamp. I would discuss this more, but again, I'm quickly running out of time. These things are only the remarks I can fit in my short time here. There are many, many other issues that need to be discussed, and this is only the beginning of the problems with this. Currently, bow licenses are being done incorrectly. Did you hear about the voids not being done? Did you know Foster County is delinquent in reporting 2014 sales to Game and Fish right now? We really also need to discuss the changes in procedure that have happened this year. All these things and more need to come to this table, if not today, then soon. Another thing is very important to bring up right now is the cleaning of that office. Who authorized that to happen? Why is it a priority when there's incomplete
Hold on,
county tasks?
let's get back to the game and fish.
This is Game and
I
Fish
don't think it
related
is
because
Game
there's
and Fish.
missing information from that office.
I think you're getting off track here.
Who's supervising what's being taken out of the office? Where's the old stuff going? Can any of you answer that for me?
It's
Where?
in storage sheds downstairs.
Have those storage things that have came out of the office, have those all been looked through for this Game and Fish stuff that's missing?
That would be back to the crime bureau guys when we do that.
It would seem to me that that would be a job that Foster County should be doing.
Move on.
At this point, I'd like to request on behalf of the public that Teresa Risovi be removed from office indefinitely,
Once again, you're off
effective
subject.
immediately.
You're off subject. Get
This
back the
needs to be
facts
done
and
until
only
we hear back from BCI to protect the county employees.
Do you know the procedure to get rid of an auditor? That's in the century code. If you wanna go down that street, you go down that street.
She's a hired auditor.
In the past months and before you
She's not
today,
elected official as
you
of
have
right now.
proof of the auditor's inability to do her job
You've made a lot
and
of
possible
accusations.
tampering with public
You've
records.
made a lot of accusations. She's not been convicted of any of
Enclosed
it,
in
not
these
been
envelopes.
charged with anything. So,
You will find inappropriate language.
you're not on the game and fish.
Yes,
I'm
it
gonna ask you
is.
to remind you.
Inappropriate
If you continue on
language
this, I'm gonna call you
and slander.
interrupting a public meeting. and I
All
will
this
have
plus
you
evidence of
removed.
lying directly to the commission, which I provided you today,
Get back on
is more
subject.
than enough grounds for termination.
Back on subject, or I will have you removed. I'm sorry to say it. So,
Please remove the auditor,
Oh,
Risovi, from
oh.
office before more damage is done. We do not
and I was-
know what is
I'm gonna ask you to
disappearing
leave my
from that
meeting. You
office.
refuse my orders, you're out.
Thank you
You're
for
done.
allowing me to address the board today. I will now address any questions that you have.
talk.
No,
Let her talk.
out. You're done. You presented your side, we'll give it over to the crime bureau. She needs to be released.
Let her talk, we have questions for her. Straley does need to go. Straley and Risovi both.
Okay, the commissioner
No
said
way,
it's
no
done.
way. It's a three-member board.
Am I able
Three
to address
members
any
make
of
the
the
decision.
commissioners?
The commissioner.
Not straight. Three-member board. Three-member board.
2 members want her to talk.
If these two have any questions, am I able to address them?
He asked you to please leave already.
Three members. Come on, guys.
We gotta clean up all the lies that come out of this office.
Straley is not the dictator here.
Ridiculous.
We've gotta stay on the
The
issue
chairman is
of
charged with
the game.
Friday and he asked to.
We've gotta stay on the issue of the game, okay?
So, we are leaving. Right,
He has authority to remove.
the chairman is in charge of the meeting.
So even though we have two commissioners that want to ask some
The
questions,
chairman
Make a
is ready to
motion,
meet.
Jimmy. Let her speak.
I make a motion that we let her,
No,
what do you say, Les?
you're done.
Les?
We're getting off
I'll
subject.
make the comment on it that the BCI will take care of this matter as far as.
Oh,
the issue of
Les.
all
Oh,
Alright,
what's gonna happen?
let's go. This is getting to be a circus, let's go.
The information will be given to BCI. and
Believe
move forward
this.
in that direction.
But who's in that office until?
Let's go.
You're done.
Well, they only got 2 months left, so they'll be done, so.
Okay, let's go.
John Paul.
Okay. What else we
It's a
got?
constant lie. When she said she had the game and fish come in, that was a constant lie.
Jim?
Once you bring it to order, doesn't matter what the evidence is. Let's just ignore the evidence. Let's just ignore the facts. Let's just ignore all the figures. Let's ignore all the reports. Let's just make sure Risovi is all right.
I think it's too loud when you're in
I can't close the door.